Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, an author and human rights activist. Dr. Amjad, welcome.
So, you want me to speak about the Hindu genocide in Pakistan and in Kashmir.
Yes.
The Hindu genocide, there are two different, ways to look at it. Number one is the first Hindu genocide that took place in this region was in Kashmir. Uh, as you would all know that on the 22nd of October 1947, Pakistan attacked the state of Jammu and Kashmir without any provocation or without any, information or announcing that they are going to go on war. And we had a standstill agreement with Pakistan. Our Maharaja had signed a standstill agreement with the Maharaja, and on the 12th of August, 3 days before the actual partition took place, Muhammad Ali Jinnah actually himself signed on that standstill agreement, which meant that they have no objection with the state of Jammu Kashmir to remain as it is. So after the 22nd of October 1947, war started, and the Muslim warriors from the tribal areas, they started coming over, and then they started plundering and massacring people. So the first incident took place in Muzaffarabad, where the Hindus and the Sikhs had gathered in a Gurdwara and for safety, and they locked the doors from outside, and hundreds of Hindus and Sikhs were burned alive in that temple, in that Gurdwara. I come from the city of Mirpur, which is very historic city, but I'm not going to go into the history of Mirpur. We had a thriving Hindu population. Our neighbors were Hindus. One shop is owned by a Hindu, the next shop is owned by a Muslim, the further down the bazaar, the shop is owned by a Sikh. So everyone was living like without any religious prejudice. So much so that when the riots had started in Punjab, and there was many of the Sikhs had come to Mirpur, to my city, for refuge, because we were so peaceful. I mean, Jammu Kashmir was the only part in the whole of the subcontinent where communal riots did not take place. Although the British had tried their utmost to instigate communal riots in July 1931, 1 year after our Maharaja had asked the British to quit India at the Round Table Conference in London. Apart from that incident, there was no such thing. Now, what happened there is then in Mirpur, when Pakistan army with the tribals arrived in Mirpur, the total massacre was somewhere between 20 to 30,000 people were massacred who were Hindus and Sikhs, and also a handful of Muslims who were trying to protect them. And it was a very sad time and a sad period. Now, 25th of November, the massacre took place, and we on that day, we have a day of mourning, a day of, we remember it as a black day in the history of Mirpur, when so many of our Hindu brothers and sisters and mothers and daughters were massacred and raped. And so many had jumped in. November is very cold in Mirpur, and the river Jhelum is freezing cold. And so many women had jumped into the river and committed suicide. So many people, fathers, like threw their daughters into the wells to so-called, save them from being, mistreated by Muslim men. What happened is, then they said that, okay, they gathered about 20,000 Hindus and Sikhs, and they said that we are going to take you to Ali Beg. And from there, we are going to hand you over to the Red Cross. So that was a death march. So on foot, they were walking towards Ali Beg, and meanwhile, they were execution style killing had started. So they would just take out the men, the young men, line them up, just point blank shoot them, and it carried on like that. They kidnapped the Hindu women and the girls, and they put them in the trucks. They took them to Rawalpindi, and there was a mandi there where they sold them for 2 rupees. Can you believe this? I really don't feel like talking about this. This is, I think, the third or maybe the fourth time in my lifetime that I'm talking in public about this, because they were our sisters and mothers, who were treated and sold in like commodities, so I don't like to talk about that. But anyway, so since your topic is about the Hindu genocide, then out of 30,000 people who marched towards Ali Beg, only 3,000 survived. इस पर तो कोई फिल्म नहीं बनाता बॉलीवुड वाला. They make films of bridge over River Kwai and this and that, but nobody on Holocaust of Germany. But what about the Holocaust of my earlier generation, my forefathers, my aunts and my uncles who were Hindus, which makes no difference to me, and they were butchered. Those 3,000 were then taken over by the Red Cross, brought to Rawalpindi and taken to Jammu. Similarly, in Baramulla had a population of 14,000. And when the Indian troops arrived there, there were only 3,000 left. They had massacred 11,000. They had kidnapped. My dad tells me, my grandfather used to tell me, कि हमारे हमसायों की बेटियों को हमने छुपाया था और वहां से उनको घसीट के निकाल के ले गए. It's very traumatic even now for me to talk about this, So I can go on and I can, tell you about one city after another city, after another village, after one village, after another and another. उठा के ले गए हरामी, माफ करना, हमारी माँ बहनों को उठा के ले गए. आज तक कोई हमें उसका पूछता नहीं है. They were our neighbors, they were our relatives, they were intermarriages even. But nobody asks about the pain of us who are from Mirpur, who are from Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir, what we went through, and even now we are going through. Like my generation who was not born at that time, our family was a family of mourning. Every Eid, my grandfather and father used to remember बिछड़े हुए लोगों को, those who had departed. Every celebration used to become like a funeral or a death anniversary. But anyway, now coming back to, and there is no, by the way, there is no Hindu left in Mirpur. There is not a single Hindu in Mirpur, or for that matter in Muzaffarabad, or for that matter in anywhere in Azad Kashmir, that they call Azad Kashmir, which is neither Kashmir nor Azad because it is West Jammu. Pakistan very cleverly named it Azad Kashmir so that they can create a bondage between the valley and this occupied territory and continue with their so-called Islamic jihad in the name of freeing the rest of the Kashmir, whereas we are not Kashmiris, we are Jammuwals. We are from Jammu. This whole province, this whole part that Pakistan has occupied except Muzaffarabad city is all part of the Jammu province. We were part of the Jammu province, but they force us to call ourselves Kashmiris. Anyway, now Pakistan chalte hain. Now in Pakistan, there were about 40 to 50 lakh Hindus at the time of partition in the west side of Pakistan. Today, there are only about less than half a million, 5 lakh, 500,000, something like that, even less. And continuously, the Hindu population is being targeted, and their girls are kidnapped. It was reported by United Nations that 1,000 girls, mostly Hindu girls, are forcefully abducted and converted and taken into marriage by Muslims. So they are forcefully converted into Islam. First they are abducted, then they're abducted, converts them into Islam, and then they are forced to marry their abductor.
Mirza Saab,
The situation of the Hindus in Pakistan is terrible. Something has to be done on war footing. And that war footing means that if there is atrocity against a Hindu in Pakistan, then the Indian community in India, the Indian civil society should wake up, should hold protests to protect them and other minorities likewise. Thank you very much.
That was very emotional, Dr. Amjad Saab, and we can understand the kind of trauma that you went through. And at this point, I would like to tell everybody who's listening that a lot of times when these tribals that you speak about had come and ravaged Jammu and Kashmir, they say that, oh, it wasn't Pakistan, it was the tribals. So here there was, I'd like to quote a piece from the Daily Guardian, wherein it clearly states that there was an understanding between the Chief Minister of NWFP, Khan Abdul Qayyum Khan, and
Yes.
tribal Lashkars that they would plunder the state at will. The tribesmen were given license to rape and take away the women as well. And this is why they would take away the women and take them and sell them for 1 rupees and 2 rupees. And it's really horrifying. And this was absolutely state sponsored. And Pakistan cannot wash its hands off. And also a lot of people who defend Pakistan say, oh, well, it was the tribals, it was the tribals. But the tribals didn't just come on their own. They were invited and they were given a free hand to do as they wish to do. Am I correct, Dr. Amjad? Because I'm quoting the Daily Guardian here.
Exactly. Actually, the deal was that the land will be ours and the bounty will be yours. So whatever is movable, you take it, and whatever is immovable, the land and the rivers and the forests, that will be our priority. That would be that would belong to us. And the tribals were promised to be given 3 lakh rupees as for their services. So when they reached Baramulla, they stopped in Baramulla for 3 days. Why? Because Pakistani army said, we can't pay you. So here is Baramulla, isko looto, jitna loot sakte ho. So the Pashtun tribes began to loot that city, and that is why they could not get to Srinagar in time. They were only 4 miles away from Srinagar at the end of the war, but the Indian troops then pushed them back. So yes, you are absolutely right. Pakistani government has to be blamed for this. Like the Pakistani government also has to be blamed for the genocide of the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley.
Yes.
It was the Pakistani government that used its handlers and its sahulat kar like JKLF and Hurriyat Conference and all these mullahs and masjids and imams to facilitate and to legitimize the genocide and the exodus of the Kashmiri Pandits. And then they tell us, they say, oh ho, wo jo the Pandit ji, wo to America mein settle ho gaye. राकेश ने फिल्म बनाई है. मैं रो पड़ा था वो फिल्म देख के और मैंने रोते हुए उसको मैसेज किया था कि उसमें वो कहती है आप तो सेटल हो गए. वो she replies her back and says, you call it settling? We are now coming back to our own homeland as tourists. यही मैंने कहना है.
It's really sad, but thank you so much, Dr. Amjad.